All right, guys, welcome back. We're doing Jarrell Miller versus Lenier Pero. Please do feel free to jump into the chat as we go. Anything you want to talk about the fight. They are in the ring, so we're getting very close to the start. I just want to set up this chat for some reason. It's not connected, so just give me a moment. What are we thinking ahead of this fight? Lots of people predicting this one going to a decision. I actually thought Miller might stop Pero. Uh, Realistically, Pero should be like if Pero's going to make his statement. It comes now. He's sort of sorry guys, I'm just trying to set up the uh chat on here. Yeah, I think Lenier Pero hasn't really impressed since moving to professional. Had all the amateur experience, had all the hype around him, but hasn't yet delivered as a professional. Jarrell Miller, we all know what Jarrell Miller is. He'll beat you if you're not there, but is a very beatable opponent if you are, what Lenier Pero is supposed to be. So, and for me, I just, like I said, I don't think Lenier Pero has been that great since he's moved to a professional game. And for that, I've sort of got Jarrell Miller as the winner of the fight, but why is this? Right. I think I've got it all set up. We are very new to using StreamYard and stuff, guys, so you're gonna have to bear with me when working it. Wonder if I can just move. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get all this set up like I said. That doesn't fucking work. Alright. Where'd that go? Did you guys watch the Jakob Bank fight this morning? I think it took him five rounds to dispatch of his opponent. Jakob Bank just needs to be, in these conversations of your Imbilis, your Pachecos. He seems to be the forgotten name a lot of the time, whereas I think Jakob Bank is not necessarily can beat them all, but will compete very, very highly against them all. And I think that's why he should be in that conversation. These opponents that he's getting, they're building his resume, but he needs to be in the conversation for these bigger fights. And for whatever reason, he's not. I think he can give Mbili a very good fight. I think he can give Martinez a good fight. I think he can. For me, right now, Shiraz is the number one at Super. All right, guys, we are getting started right now. Drop your predictions in the chat. For me, I think Jarrell Miller is going to stop him. I haven't been impressed at all by Lenier Pero in his professional game so far. Saying all that, right? Saying how unimpressed I've been with Lenier Pero, that fight against Kingsley Abeth from Jarrell Miller was piss poor. So, guys, if there is any problem with the audio, please do let me know as well. Audio visual problems, just let me know so I can fix it up. I've got this mic and there's 100 fucking settings that I don't know how to fucking fix it. So, all right, first round about to start. I think if Lenier Pero can win this fight and win it comfortably, my opinion will drastically change of him. It'll almost go back to when he first moved to the professional scene, but he's got to do it first. And if Jarrell Miller loses this, I mean, I think he gets put in that, Zhili Zhang type of area of you're basically done your career, mate. You can maybe have a few fights just for a little bit of money, but to be honest, I'm probably there already with Jarrell Miller. The fact is, this is apparently a WBA title eliminator. If either one of these win this fight and get a WBA title fight, then I'd be fucking astonished. All right, we've started. I do wonder how Jarrell Miller fights now at this 305. Imagine being 305 pounds saying, fuck, you slimmed down, mate. You're nice and skinny. You're in shape. 305 fucking pounds. 50 pounds heavier than your opponent. But yeah, he needed to slim down a little bit. It wasn't working at that 330 odd pounds that I think he was fighting at before. Although I thought he would meet it in the middle around 310, 315. He fought a lot of his career at that, but he's a big boy, but unbelievably athletic for fucking 315 pounds. What is that in kilos? Is that 120 in kilos? 130 in kilos? Jarrell Miller starting the fight, just sort of tapping him with that jab. Pero high guard, good right hand from Jarrell Miller, but Pero comes back with a 1-2. I hope we get to see a finish in this fight. I feel like if it goes 12 rounds decision, it's not going to be the greatest fight in the world, is it? Good body shot there from Lenier Pero. Lenier Pero fighting quite well here on the outside. Miller on the front foot, but he's not really doing much apart from sending out a few tappy jabs. I do know that Jarrell Miller, he's not the most comfortable fighter against a southpaw. It's not his strong suit to fight a southpaw, but I hate it as an excuse, eh? I hate when fighters come into it and say, well, realistically, he's a southpaw, so it's going to worry him. No, it shouldn't worry you, mate. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I think sometimes it's a bit of a cop out to use the stance as an excuse for winning or losing a fight. You got to find ways around it. Get more sparring partners in. Work harder on it. Use yourself switch to southpaw and fight him like that if you're that uncomfortable fighting him orthodox. But Dromill's got heaps of experience. It can be no excuse. Good left hand there from Lenier Pero. Landed on Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller shakes it off. It definitely landed though. I definitely think that hurt Jarrell Miller. Not a lot, but he felt it. This fight here, if Lenier Pero can stop Jarrell Miller, I think his stocks rise a whole heap. But you got to do it first. And getting a split decision against Jarrell Miller and looking not great isn't the way you rise your stocks. You got to look good against Jarrell Miller, beat him comfortably, show that you are ready for that next step, and that's something Lenier Pero hasn't done in any of these fights yet. Everything is working, guys. You just got to let me know if there's any problems. Let me know in the chat. All right, first. Oh shit, sorry guys, I forgot to start the round timer. Probably Pero round there. Miller was on the front foot, but Pero got the better shots in. Guys, feel free to in the chat let me know what you guys are thinking as we go for the fight. Big weekend in boxing next weekend. There's the Inoue fight versus Junto Nakatani, which I've already done a preview on. So if you haven't already, get on the channel, check out that. I'm trying to put together a Zerto versus Benavidez preview as well. Most likely there won't be a watch along for that stuff next weekend, but there'll be the reaction videos. Like I said, there'll be preview videos out there. So if you want to know everything before those fights, check them out. All right, round 2 starting. Ooh, good combination there from Jarrell Miller, but Pero comes straight back with an even better one. This right jab from Pero, both to the head and to the body, is causing Jarrell Miller some problems. Good left jab. Low blow there from Lenier Pero. But it was Jarrell Miller that was pushing him down. So, left hand straight through the guard from Lenier Pero. Oh, good right hand there from Lenier Pero. That's another one that sort of almost wobbled Jarrell Miller. Lenier Pero is on point early in this fight. He just landed a 1-2 as well that got through. Consistent right hands to the body as well from Lenier Pero. I think it's softening him up quite well. But he's hit Jarrell Miller around the ear twice now in this fight. Both times, it does seem as though Miller's sort of not taking it great. Another right hook there from Pero, but blocked by Miller. Miller's not really letting his hands fly as much as I thought he would. I mean, he's been a bit standoffish, using the jab, tapping him, but no following on, nothing. And Pero's able to just counter with ease. Right hand there from Jarrell Miller, though. Another good counter there from Pero. Miller's run out these single straight rights, and Pero's just able to counter with ease. Oh, good uppercut there from Miller. I think it just missed, though. Another right hook from Lenier Pero that gets through. Left to the body from Pero. Bit low, but... Oh, left uppercut there from Pero as well. That one got straight through. Followed up by another one. Pero's able to get through this guard of Miller with ease at the moment. Not just in counters, but his own shots as well. Well, at this rate, guys, Miller's losing this fight. Good left hand, followed by right hand from Pero right on the bell. That's another round to Pero, and he's able to pick him off quite easily at the moment. Ooh. 2 rounds down, 2 rounds to Pero, in my opinion. I know Miller's on the front foot. I know Miller's pressing the action, but he's not landing any shots, and that's ultimately what it is. Pero is able to counter him and land bigger shots. Guys, like I said, jump in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. Sorry, guys. Just I can that might be a bit better actually. All right, round 3. Here we go. Shit, let me start that timer. Jarrell Miller on the front foot here, round 3, trying to swing the tide a little bit in his favor. Yeah, this is more textbook Miller right here. Pushing on to Pero up against the ropes, making this just a shocking shit fight for Pero. This is the fight Miller wants here. He's got Pero up against the ropes, ripping to the body, sabotaging anything Pero's able to do. Lenier Pero needs to just stay on the outside a little bit more lateral foot movement. But Lenier Pero seems content of fighting on the inside, but he's looked so well on the outside. A good 1-2 there from Pero, though. Jarrell Miller, once again, bulldozing him against the ring. Good uppercut there from Miller. Some good work there by Miller. A good clean right to the body and a left hook over the top that I think just missed. This is better by Miller. This will be, oh, good left hand there from Pero on the back foot. This is the best Miller's looked in this fight. And Pero, I think Pero needs to not allow this to happen. He sort of let Miller push him up against the ropes. He was almost content to fight on the inside, but he's getting outworked. He's getting pushed back. He's not going to win these rounds. He was looking much better fighting from the outside, moving around the ring, picking off Jarrell Miller, countering him. This isn't the fight for Pero. For Miller, though, these hooks and uppercuts are landing much, much better. Some good uppercuts there from Pero, but no real heat on them. If you're Jarrell Miller, just keep this up because At very worst, you're going to have a very close loss. The first 2 rounds were dominant from Pero, in my opinion. Good right hook there from Pero. I think this round, you've got to give it to Miller. Pero was looking so good early doors, fighting from mid to long range. But Jarrell Miller just land 2, 3 good hooks on him right at the end of that round. And Pero can't afford to allow Miller to push him up against rope. You can't invite that type of pressure. You got to keep moving around that ring. That's the first round for me that goes in favor of Jarrell Miller. 3 rounds down. 2 in favor of Pero, 1 for Jarrell Miller. Ref warning both fighters to keep the punches up. A few low blows there. But they're both sort of pushing each other down. So that's going to happen. I would have liked to have heard what Pero's corner was telling him in that corner, because he looked so good earlier. Then allowing that pressure from Miller, they can't be telling him to allow that to happen. Look, once again, Pero's just happy to fight this inside fight where he's on the back foot and he's not going to be able to land his punches. Jarrell Miller just bulldozing forward, and he's got him up against the ropes once again. Lenier Pero will lose this fighting this way. The first 2 rounds were so good from him, but Jarrell Miller is going to try and make this his fight, and it's working. He's got him up against the ropes. Low blow there from Miller. The referee stopping the action. Let me stop that timer. Oh, you know what? I haven't even fucking started it, so don't have to worry. Let me get that fixed. All right, he's given Lenier Pero a few moments here. That angle doesn't really show it. Does look like a right sort of uppercut hook almost below the belt from Jarrell Miller. He just warned them in that last corner stoppage to keep those punches up. But the way they're fighting, that's going to happen. Good right from the body. And a right hook over the top from Lenier Pero. Left to the body followed by a right hook from Lenier Pero. But Jarrell Miller is just walking straight through it. He's eating up all of these punches. Whether he can sustain eating these punches for the entirety of this fight, we're going to have to see, because these body shots from Pero are consistent. But another 2 rips to the body from Lenier Pero, but a right hand from Jarrell Miller trying to walk him down, push him up against the ropes again. 2 big hooks there from Miller. Another 2. A right there from Miller that lands on Pero up against the ropes. Pero can't afford to be up against these ropes. He eats an uppercut there from Miller. A minute left to this round, and another right hook from Miller. Pero looks awful in this type of fight. He's unable to land punches. He's unable to defend. He's just being bulldozed and pushed around by Miller. If Miller can keep this pace up, he's going to either outwork him to a decision or stop him, because Pero looks dreadful in this type of fight. His punches have got no sting on him, and he can't work out how to get off these ropes. Miller's just unloading on him with hooks and uppercuts. 17 seconds left of round 4, and it's probably going to be 2 rounds apiece after 4. Good start by Pero, but Jarrell Miller come back. He's made this fight his own. Made it a dirty fight. I'd like to see the CompuBox stats after 4 rounds, because Jarrell Miller looks like his activity and his output is well and truly leaps and bounds above what Perro's dishing out at the moment. Who you guys got for Inoue Nakatani? My preview's up on the channel already, so I won't give you my prediction. If you want to know my prediction and how it's going to happen, it's all in that video. But it's an exciting fight. I feel like it's not as exciting following the Sebastian Hernandez fight. I think lots of people are writing off Junto completely, which is just incorrect. It's just a wrong view, isn't it? Just because Junto Nakatani has one off sort of night against Sebastian Hernandez, one that I do believe he shouldn't have won. That doesn't mean this fight is a completely different fight. Obviously, you're always going to have Inoue as the favorite. He was always going to be the favorite. He's the natural at the weight. He is the more accomplished fighter, but Junto Nakatani has a lot to offer him. But like I said, all my thoughts of that fight, including my prediction, in the preview that's live on the channel. So go and check that out. Miller going straight back to work. Perro almost conceding, submitting to being in this corner up against the ropes, and it looks poor. It does. From such a good amateur, he should know how to at least move around the ring better than this. Guys, jump in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Jarrell Miller getting another warning. That one from an elbow. It's a dirty fight. We're going to have these warnings. Jarrell Miller's all over him. Uppercuts, hooks, just pushing him up against the ropes, ripping to the body. Another good uppercut there from Miller. Right hook there goes straight through on Perro. Perro's doing a few little punches, one off hook, one off uppercut, but they've got no sting on him. He's just getting pushed up against the rope, bulldozed by Jarrell Miller, and he's all over him. Jarrell Miller has landed quite a few good uppercuts and a few good hooks in these pockets up against the ropes. And for Lenier Perro, like I said, he should have better footwork than this. He should know how to get out of these types of fights, and he's almost allowing it to happen. But a good right there from Perro, but Miller walks straight through it and pushes him up against the ropes once again. I'd love to see what Miller's output is at the moment, because he is just constantly throwing. Not many have sting on him, but 1 in 10 have sting on him, and they're getting through. Good right hand there from Jarrell Miller. Uppercut there from Perro, but Miller's just eating anything up that he gets fit with. 1 minute left to this round, and another round that's gone by that Miller's all over Perro. Doesn't look like stopping him. Look, I'll give you that. All right, he's not hurting him. Perro isn't looking like he's going to be stopped anytime soon. He's not cut, but Miller is landing clean shots, and we know how much power Miller has. If one of these do land well, it'll be done. 4 jabs in a row there by Miller with no counter from Perro like he was countering in the first 2 rounds. That's better by Perro. Right hand over the top. But about 10 uppercuts there from Miller, landing to the body and landing to the head. And it's this output, this pressure from Miller that's winning him these rounds. 20 seconds left of round 5. 3 right hands there in a row by Jarrell Miller. Good uppercut, double uppercut there from Jarrell Miller. Oh, Perez actually walked Jarrell Miller back for the first time in this fight. Perro looks cooked, man. He looks absolutely gassed 5 rounds in. Look, Jarrell Miller doesn't look fresh as a daisy either, but Jarrell Miller's winning these rounds, and that's all that really matters. Jarrell Miller's corner telling him that he hurt him in that round. I'm not sure he hurt him, but he's definitely gassed. The other big fight next week, Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. My preview for that will be out hopefully in the next sort of few days. I want it sort of out by Tuesday at the latest. It'll have film study. It'll have everything you need to know, my prediction. Same as the Inoue and Nakatani one that's up on the channel right now. So make sure you check those out. Next week's got a blockbuster fights, man. Absolute blockbuster fights. All right, round 6 getting started now. What are we thinking, guys? 5 rounds down. I've got Miller up 3 rounds to 2. Perry winning the first 2, Miller winning the next 3. It's gonna be who has the better gas tank in this fight. And at the moment, it's Miller. At the moment, Perro's looking gassed, man. At the back end of that round. And Miller is investing in the body. Perro was doing it early, but he sort of shrinked into himself a little bit in these last few rounds. Perro getting warned for leaving his hand out there. Good left hand there from Perro to the body. But Miller follows it up with a good left hook to the body and an uppercut to the head. And Perro's once again on the ropes, and Miller's just unloading on him. Perro's trying to throw hands back though. But that could be good or bad. Good work there from Perro. Gets out of the pocket and on the turn lands a good right hand, followed by another right hand there from Perro. And Miller's now up against the ropes. This is better by Lenier Perro. Jarrell Miller getting warned again. I think he was pushing Lenier Perro that time. Good right uppercut there from Jarrell Miller. What are we looking at? 369 thrown from Miller to 245 thrown of Lenier Perro. And that's sort of the last few rounds. Jarrell Miller pushing him up against the ropes once again. I do miss the toupee of Jarrell Miller. I think you should bring that back. Good work here by Jarrell Miller. Nothing with a lot of sting on him, but he's just outworking him, and he's going to win these rounds comfortably this way. I would like to see him mix in, 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 with a bit of power. Both of them unloading up against the ropes here. I think Miller's getting closer and closer here to a commanding shot. Perro is absolutely gassed up against this rope. Oh, Miller just misses a massive right. 10 seconds left of the round. I think it's another comfortable Miller round. I reckon he's one big shot away from putting Perro down because Perro looks absolutely gassed. Guys, jump in the chat. Man, May is absolutely stacked day. We've got Inoue Nakatani, Benavidez Zerto, Wardley Dubois, Usyk Rico. Is a boxing time, man. It is prime boxing time. This month is absolutely mad. Look, it's not great for the pockets, this many pay-per-views in a row, but got to do what you got to do. All right, round 7, here we go. What other announcements have come out in the past sort of 24 hours that we haven't spoken about? Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence looking like July 26th in Australia. I'm here in Seabus Super Stadium up there on the Gold Coast. Exciting. I thought it was going to 100% be in Dallas. I thought it was destined to be there, but for whatever reason, maybe there is more money in it in Australia. I'm not sure how big Errol Spence is right now in America, how many people are getting around him, whereas I know people will get around that fight in Australia. They will have no problem selling out Seabus. They will have no problem selling pay-per-views, and they'll probably do it with a bit more ease than what they will in the American market. Errol Spence has just been out of the loop for so long, and Tim Tszyu in Australia, people go and pay to watch what he does, whether you like him, whether you don't, whether you think he's a top fighter or not. People in Australia pay to watch him, and I'm just not sure whether those two can headline a big stadium in America and sell it out. They'd have to be co-mains, and I'm not sure they want that to be a co-main. Um, I think it probably belongs on a big co-main show. In Australia, it's 100% a main event, but in America, it wouldn't be. Um, Especially if they want to sell out something big. And unless there's something big in the works, it's not going to happen. Both men are starting to look quite gassed in this fight, but Jarrell Miller is the one on the front foot. He's the one landing the more shots, the better shots. But they're slowed down completely here. Both of them standing in the middle of the ring. Pero landing two good lefts there. Jarrell Miller with a right to the body, followed up by a right to the head. And Miller's just pushing him back. A right uppercut there from Jarrell Miller as well, followed by a right hook. Lenier Pero's throwing 1-2 punches every so often, but they've got no sting on him. They're not pushing Miller back. Man, the way Pero started this fight to what he's doing right now, it's night and day, man. And this is why I said at the start of the video that I said, I've got Miller. I haven't been impressed with Pero at all since his professional step up. And this is almost sort of showing you the fact that he's just submitting to the way that Miller wants to fight. Considering how well he fought the first 2 rounds, good left hand there from Jarrell Miller. Oh, they're both unloading now. Look, Pero's not going down without a fight, but he looks absolutely gassed, and he looks a little bit out of answers, to be honest with you. Um, Telling Pero in the corner to go to the body a bit more. He's got to do something. He's got to do something to change the tide in this one. What ended up happening in the UFC today? Does anybody know? You watched it? I don't think the main event started by the looks of this. Aljamain Sterling versus Yusuf Zalal. Norma Dumont lost. Jeez, not many stoppages in this one. Almost everything on the main card's been a decision. If you are watching Sterling Zalal, jump in the chat and let me know what's going on with that. I haven't got it up. Next week's UFC is very exciting. Della Maddalena fighting on the main card out there in Perth. Good right uppercut there from Jarrell Miller. Pero landing some shots there, but none of them look like they're doing anything to deter Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's just bulldozing him down, throwing a lot of shoe shining shots. They're not a lot's got power on them, but it doesn't matter because he's outworking him. He's gassing him out right there to the body from Jarrell Miller, and that's the killer shot. That'll gas him out. We've still got a few rounds to go here, and Pero's looked gassed for the past 2. I think Pero's running out of answers here. He's pushing down Jarrell Miller. He's almost looking for a bit of a way out of these inside pockets. Instead of fighting himself out of them, he's trying to. Oh, good left hand there from Pero, but Jarrell Miller just walking him down. Uppercuts and hooks. Double hook to the head there from Miller. Big right hand there from Jarrell Miller, followed by a left hook to the body and another right hook to the head. Left hand to the head from Miller, and Miller's really unloading on him now. Some big punches landed there by Miller. Double hook there from Miller. Right hook to the body as well. 50 seconds left of the round, which I haven't actually started a clock for. My apologies. Fuck, Pero started so well in this fight, man. And for me, I don't see any way he goes and wins this fight. He's poking his tongue out at Jarrell Miller. I'm not sure what he's laughing at, to be honest with you, because all he's doing is getting his ass handed to him at the moment. He can't honestly believe to himself that he's winning this fight. Good right hand there from Jarrell Miller to finish the round. Getting away from Pero now. It's territory of we need a stoppage. Do you guys do the Ring Magazine's fantasy like tipping thing each week? I've been doing it sort of. I missed the first round, which was annoying, but since then I've been doing it. I had Jakob Bank winning round 7 or round 9 TKO today, and he got the round 5 stoppage. This one here I had Miller to get a stoppage in the 10th, I think. I don't think it'll come. This now looks like it'll be a decision, which is a bit of a shame, but it is an alright game. It was an alright game. Pretty sure I had the co-main of this one as a decision, which is a fuck up, a massive fuck up. It was an unbelievable KO. And then I got Sky Nicholson to win by decision on Thursday or Wednesday, whenever that fight is. All right, round 9. Here we go. Guys, jump in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Look, Jarrell Miller's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's winning this fight. He's looking better than he did against Kingsley Eber. He's still not looking a fighter that's going to go and win a world title or anything, but it's better than the Eber fight. Lenier Pero, look, the 2 first rounds were unbelievable by Pero. I thought the way he's doing, he's all over Jarrell Miller. Since then, he's looked absolutely fucking dreadful. And that's why I said, since he stepped up to professional, not there. I've got nothing against the guy. I've watched most of his fights. They've all sort of been on DAZN, so I've watched them all. And have I ever walked away from a Pero fight saying, this guy is the next mustard. This guy is unbelievable. No, he hasn't. And this was his opportunity to show that he was ready for that next step. And unfortunately, he's going to go down to Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller, that if he had lost this fight, I mean, he would have been written off completely. If he's not written off already, I mean, I don't expect Jarrell Miller to accomplish really anything in the rest of his career, but get a good win here today. And guess what? You've thrown on another big card. You're going to make some more money. This is a WBA title eliminator. Not a chance these guys go for a WBA title. And if they are in a title fight, then they're getting handed it to them. But could you imagine what Jarrell Miller would be doing? The way he's been able to push Pero back in this fight, if Jarrell Miller was at 330 pounds instead of 305, like he's only 50 pounds heavier than him in this fight. Add another 10, add another 15 pounds onto Jarrell Miller, and although he does look better, he looks much better than he did in his last fight, so maybe he would have gone the other way as well. Wouldn't have had this gas tank that he's showing in this fight, which, yeah, is great. 30 seconds left of this round. Look, you could almost say the same thing every single round. You could just put me on fucking repeat. It's going to be the same thing. It's Jarrell Miller on the front foot, Pero on the back foot, up against the ropes. Jarrell Miller throwing hooks, throwing uppercuts, and Pero having barely any answers. The occasional flurry. Good right hand there from Miller at the end. And about 10 or 11 shots there right at the end, 11 hooks in a row to end the round. And guess what? Same thing again. And it is now a point of Perro knockout or loss. I don't see how. I couldn't imagine since the second round they've given a round to Perro. I couldn't. I've given it a clean sweep. Rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All of them to Miller. The first 2 rounds to Perro. And honestly, I can't see you scoring it any different. Get in the comments if you think differently, but for me, it has been a domination. You guys got in that one. Ford versus Oshaki Foster. Oshaki Foster looked incredible against Stephen Fulton. I mean, career best performance against Stephen Fulton. I thought that fight was 100% 50-50. No doubt. I actually think, I don't remember who I said would win that fight, but I'm tempted to say that I thought Stephen Fulton was going to win it. And not only did Stephen Fulton lose it, but he got absolutely spanked. It wasn't even close. So if Oshaki Foster can follow that performance up against Stephen Fulton against Ray Ford, I mean, not sure Ray Ford can handle that. Lenier Perry's having these quick flurries where he lands 2 or 3 good shots. Miller walks through them, and then it's just absolutely gassed from Perro as Miller starts to unload again. The ref said his absolute hands full today, eh? Ooh, good left hook there from Perro, but there's no sting on him. Like, compared to that right hand there from Miller. Good left hand there from Miller. Misses the uppercut, though. 3 jabs in a row there from Miller. And Perro's just stuck in this corner as Miller's unloading on him. Perro's having these quick flurries, but nothing to push him back. Right hand over the top there from Perro, but this has been a better round by Perro. Actually let his hands fly a little bit more, but has it been enough to win the round? Not sure. Guys, make sure, like I said, the Inoue versus Nakatani preview, prediction, and breakdown with film study, everything you need to know is up on the channel, so check that out. I am making a Zerda Ramirez versus Benavidez one for later in the week. There won't probably be any watch-alongs for those fights next week, I don't believe, but I will be doing reaction videos, and like I said, the previews will be up. We'll see what we can do. My setup's just, honestly, my setup is just not great to do a long stream to do those fights. We might do the main events, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Look, this has been a better round by Perro, no doubt. He's landed some better, cleaner shots. Probably been the most active he's been in a few rounds, but I still don't think it's been enough to stop this momentum of Jarrell Miller. If the referees are sitting, the judges sitting there watching, they're seeing Jarrell Miller on the front foot, throwing the bigger punches, or on the back foot, up against the ropes. No matter what you're really doing, it's going to be very hard to win that round. And yeah, for me, another round. Shit, I forgot to start the timer. Apologies, guys. I got to work out how to automate this fucking timer so it goes continuously. You know, like 3 minutes, minute break, 3 minutes, minute break. But I don't see how that's working unless somebody fucking makes one. If you've ever been in a boxing gym, you will have heard the ticker timers that they've got going in a boxing gym. That's what I need on this screen here. Maybe I'll have to set one up in the studio when I improve on the studio. We are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers, so if you aren't subscribed, it does help a lot. If you are a YouTuber, you'll know how the watch time goes and the subscriber count goes before you can even get monetized. So it does help a lot if you could all head down there and subscribe. Look at this, Pero. What, we're 10 seconds into the round and he's already cowered in his own corner. What do you expect to win when performing like that? Lots and lots of people picking Pero in this fight. I had Miller by stoppage in the 10th, so I got that wrong, but do we think that Miller can get a late stoppage here? Pero's landed some clean shots on Miller. He's not hurting him. Miller's landed some big shots on Pero, but none of them have really put him down. So good left hook there from Miller. 3 uppercuts there as well by Miller. I'd love to see the CompuBox stats of this fight because I couldn't imagine Pero's anywhere near the numbers that Miller has. Both thrown and landed, mind you. Obviously, Pero's probably got a better land percentage, but that was low by Pero. Doesn't get caught by the referee. All right, Pero finding some space here at the end of the 11th. The first time he's got some space since the second round. But he's almost sabotaging himself, pushing Miller back. Bit of a low blow there from Pero, but the referee hasn't called it. Oh, he has called it now. It was definitely low, 2 of them. And now Jarrell Miller's back on the front foot. Left hook around the body of Pero. It's a good performance by Miller. Like I said, he's not beaten no world champion, but in terms of comparing this one to the Kingsley Abeth fight, it's leaps and bounds better. Pero hasn't, once again, look, my opinion on Pero is not going to change, is it? 10 seconds left of the 11th round. Another sort of copy and paste round. Probably the best round from Pero for a while. And I think you could make an argument for Pero winning it, to be honest with you. You know what? I might even give that one to Pero. He ended it well. Yeah. Maybe I'm being a bit too charitable. Maybe. Think so. Let me know in the chat. But 1 round left. 107 to 102. Expect it to be 117. 117, 111. Is that right? Gotta be right. I've fucking counted the rounds every time. Oh. All right, 1 round. 1 round remaining. Can Pero or Miller get a stoppage? Or is it simply Pero down? Oh, well, that round actually started yet. It did, but doesn't fucking matter at this point. Nope. No one's going to get a stoppage. Pero back against the ropes. Miller having one last surge in this fight. Piling on the pressure. 2 shining shots, uppercuts and hooks, but nothing with a lot of sting on it. I'd like to see Miller just try and land one big one here in this final round. Oh, they've got the scorecard. I think that's Chris Mannix's scorecard. He's got it exactly the same as I do. Look, I don't think there's any other way to score this fight. That last round is probably the only tilt round I wouldn't have any arguments if you gave it to Miller. I would have no arguments if you gave it to Pero. I gave it to Pero. Guys, let me know if you can hear me properly in this microphone. Like I said, it's a bit fiddly. There's so many fucking buttons you got to press, and half the time I don't know what the fuck it's doing. So, you know what? Good left hand there from Pero. Double left hook there from Pero. Good work here at range from Pero. Pero might win himself another round here. But then he sabotages his work by falling over and almost getting on the inside. Good right hook there from Lenier Pero, but Jarrell Miller comes back with his own. Minute 15 left of the fight. Pero looking all right in this round, but Miller with two good uppercuts. Miller applying the pressure here. Landing some good hooks, landing some good uppercuts. Pero trying to walk him back now. But Miller just too big, too powerful. Good left hook there from Miller. Right to the body as well. Both of the big men letting it all on the line here. Last 40 seconds of the fight. Pero needs to just start throwing. Just let those hands fly. Miller pushing him back once again. Good left uppercut there from Pero. Right hook there from Miller. Been a very entertaining fight. I was a bit worried that this fight, if it went to a decision, was going to be boring. It hasn't been boring. Lots and lots of activity. Miller's looked the much better fighter, though. 20 seconds left. Another good few digs there from Miller. And it looks like Miller's going to polish off this round with... Oh, good throwing from both big men. Both of them throwing it all on the line here. Great fight. Great fight. For me, Jarrell Miller, no doubt, wins that fight. 117, 111. Guys, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of that fight. How did you score it? I think the scorecards have to be 117, 111 or 118, 110. That's it. There's, for me, no other way of scoring that fight. Pero won 2 first rounds, round 1, round 2. Clean sweep from Miller all the way up to the 11th. Pero wins the 11th. And then the 12th round goes to Jarrell Miller. That 11th round is probably the only swing round in the fight. I'm more than happy if you gave it to Miller. I'm more than happy if you gave it to Pero. I gave it to Pero. I think it was good work there. He was on the front foot for a bit of time in that fight. And ultimately, Miller just outworked him. More activity. Better. Won majority of the rounds. And these questions over Lenier Pero at professional game, still there. But this time, the questions are there with a loss, not a win. He's been questioned a lot after his wins. He hasn't really impressed after his wins. Today, you can really question a fighter because guess what? You don't have the excuse of you won. You know what I mean? Not, I didn't perform great, but I won. Next time I'll be better. It's, you didn't perform well, and guess what you got for that? You lost. All right. This shouldn't take long to calculate. If they gave this to Pero, I'd fucking lose my mind. There's just no way. There's no way that they can give this to Pero. It's got to be Miller, and it's going to be Miller by a lot. I thought the referee did very well in that fight. I think another ref would have, made that fight a complete mess, chaos, deducting points, all sorts. That fight didn't need any points deducted. That fight went well the way it was. Let the fighters work it out. So I feel like sometimes we don't credit the referee. We're more than happy to jump on the referee when they do a fucking shit show of a job, which we see a lot, and they deserve to be jumped on when they have a shit show, but good performance there by the referee as well. Zurdo Benavidez. If Zurdo loses, I think it's his last fight. Actually, you know what? If Zurdo wins, it could be his last fight as well. There wouldn't be a better way to, finish that career than beating David Benavidez. But, the money talks. The money does talk. You beat him, another big fight next, isn't it? Another big opportunity to make money. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. You're making money, you're going to be fighting. Because the money we're talking about, I couldn't imagine what Zurdo's getting paid for that fight against Benavidez, but I think it'll be a handsome paycheck. All right, official scorecards. 117, 111, 117, 111. And 115, 113. I'm sure we all know who won it, but Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller wins it 117, 111, 117, 111, and 115, 113. Unanimous decision. Look, I had it 117, 111. I think Lenier Perro, pardon me, won the first 2 rounds, won the 11th round, but everything else went to Jarrell Miller. And this was apparently a WBA title eliminator. Neither of these guys are beating the title holder, but what can you do? What can you do? I'd love to see Fabio Wardley fight. Fabio Wardley is the WBA, isn't he? Or is he the WBO? Now I can't remember. Maybe Usyk's the WBA and he's the WBO. Doesn't really matter. Whether it's Usyk or whether it's Fabio Wardley, I don't want to see Jarrell Miller fight either. 85 punches per round for Jarrell Miller. That's good, man. That is, for Jarrell Miller, well, for any heavyweight, 85 punches a round is a good output. And you could see that. Look, lots of them didn't have sting on them. They were a lot of shoe shiners. Yeah, I see it too. All right, guys, that is the live stream. If you haven't already liked the video, subscribe to the channel. We've got some big videos coming out this week. Inoue versus Nakatani preview, breakdown, all the film study, everything you need to know for that fight came out yesterday. So if you haven't already checked that out, we're going to make a Zurdo Ramirez versus Benavidez preview with film study and everything else for later in the week. Look, Jarrell Miller, great performance. Lenier Perro, still those question marks that I've had since he moved up to professional. He gets the wins, but he doesn't press. And guess what? He came up against a decent heavyweight today, and he lost. Jarrell Miller outworked him. Good performance, but ultimately, we know Jarrell Miller's level, all right? He's not beating any of the top dogs. He can give some people a good fight. I think Jarrell Miller is still a moneymaker when he turns up. I think he's just called out Deontay Wilder. What do we think of Deontay Wilder versus Jarrell Miller? I think it'd be a good fight. And you'd probably say Jarrell Miller would be a nightmare for Deontay Wilder. Could you imagine Deontay Wilder trying to get Jarrell Miller off him? I mean, Derek Chisora tried to do the same thing, but I think Jarrell Miller, that's another task as well. He looked good at the weight. Jarrell Miller, Lenier Perro needs to go back to the drawing board, get back to performing. But let me know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out of you guys. See ya.